Hi, this is Sam Swaminathan. I started my consulting practice Center for Creative Thinking, CCT, in 1995 after working with companies like Shell, KPMG, and the higher colleges of technology in the United Arab Emirates. Before that, I was in the Navy, in the Indian Navy as a naval officer. Um, and I thought at that point, I had already worked 22 years or so. I felt it was time to be try and set up my own little consulting practice and share my beliefs with corporate leaders. I grew up in Jamshedpur, the home of Tata Steel. So right from childhood, I was greatly influenced by the founder's philosophy. Uh, the founder being Mr. J.N. Tata. It was drilled into me that the purpose of a business is to serve the society from which it draws its profits, and therefore to return the profits to that society to improve the society. That is how wealth is really created, lasting wealth, and wealth that is not concentrated in a few but is shared by many. Uh, and I wanted to my consulting practice to support this philosophy. Not everybody supports this, so this really is what I believe is compassionate capitalism. And the purpose of capitalism is not just to accumulate wealth, but to really spread it so that you don't reach the finish line all by yourself, but you arrive at the finish line along with others who you are fortunate enough to lead. So, the work of CCT is focused greatly on leadership because this philosophy has to be like a waterfall. It has to come from the top. I have been heavily influenced by great leaders like Mahatma Gandhi, Dr. Radhakrishnan, Dr. Abdul Kalam, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, both the Roosevelt, Theodore, and Franklin, Lyndon Johnson, particularly for the civil rights work that he did, and Nelson Mandela. I was also greatly influenced by corporate leaders like J.N. Tata, J.R.D. Tata, Narayana Murthy, Howard Schultz, and Herb Kelleher, Southwest Airlines founder. Also, Semco's Ricardo Semler, that was from Brazil. Semco is a Brazilian company which really redefined leadership and the purpose of business. I had the opportunity to work in several countries with fine companies like Accenture, FedEx, Deloitte, Infosys, Tata Steel, Unilever, Will Williamson, etc. While working with these companies over a period of time, in my mind, I began to, get a concept of what leadership is all about. Leadership that really builds, supports compassionate capitalism. And early in within a few years of setting up CCT, I'd come up with what I call the 11 leaders of leadership. Let me share those 11 leaders with you. In fact, I had put together a small booklet, which I would give my clients, and at the back is really the 11 leaders of leadership. Let me read them out to you. Those 11 leaderships are action, truth, forgiveness, justice, humility, patience, anticipation, faith, perseverance, accountability, and modesty. Now, this list is not exhaustive in any way. Some, might rightly argue that, hey, integrity is missing in this. But I think that, in my opinion, integrity is part of truth. Truth and integrity are not mutually exclusive. They have to go hand in hand. So, in all my coaching work, what I would do really is to share these 11 leaders, 11 levers of leadership, and ask the person I was coaching, what they would like to add or modify in this list, and then agree on a list of parameters or levers, and then ask the person I was coaching which areas would you like to focus on. And then once we reached agreement on that, we would build the leadership on that. In fact, I remember working with a company called ITM, International Tanker Management, which was part of the Wilhelmsen Group, the Swedish group. It's a tanker management company. Over a period of 14 years with the CEO and the employees of the company, we put together a whole load of programs around these levers, and that I think it made a considerable difference. Certainly, it gave great satisfaction to the organization, the owners of the organization, as well as myself. So what I plan to do over the coming months is to create short videos on each one of these 11 levers and actually provide examples, these levers in action. How does it look like when you talk about, say, action, when you talk about truth, how does it look like when it is actually being, implemented in an organization or by an individual, and also where it is failing, so that people can get a good idea of how exactly the lever works and, how one can put it to use in one's own life or career. I would greatly solicit feedback. I'd be delighted to receive feedback from yourselves so that I can learn from you and I can enrich myself. Hopefully, this will also give my listeners some food for thought. So that is the purpose of this thing. I wanted to introduce the 11 levers to you, the philosophy behind it, where it's coming from, and then on the course of the coming months to actually share each lever with you in some detail. Bye for now.